Developers, 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 developers.
Hi everyone, my name is Gerald Smith from Slimmer Fitter Stronger, and today I'm going to take you through my top 10 foods to eat to lose weight. Just to let you know, these top 10 foods aren't in any particular order, but I'm going to start with avocados. So number one, avocado reduces your satiety levels, so you're less likely to crave foods in between your meals. Avocados also contain a sugar called monoheptulose, and this sugar helps you control sugar and insulin levels more efficiently. So this means that it's going to help your body, it's going to help take you out of fat storage modes. Lastly, because of the monounsaturated fats in avocados, it can help you reduce your cholesterol level. The second food that I recommend you eat to help you lose weight are nuts. Nuts are high in protein and fiber, and because of the high protein and fiber content, you actually feel fuller after eating nuts. So this is less likely to lead to snacking in between meals. So another great thing of eating nuts is that between 10 to 15% of the calories in the nuts you eat pass straight through your body, and they're not even digested by your body. Okay, so obviously this is a big plus, because however many calories you're eating in these nuts, as I say, 10 to 15% of those aren't actually going to use by your body, which is obviously a good plus for when you're trying to lose weight. Okay, the third great thing about eating nuts is that they're hard to digest by the body. So between about 10 to 15% of the calories in nuts are actually used by your body to eat, to digest the nuts which you've eaten. So for instance, if you've eaten 15 nuts, then the first 3 nuts you ate are going to be used to digest the other 9 which you've just eaten. The third food that I recommend for weight loss is coconut oil. You have to go for organic coconut oil. Make sure it's extra virgin coconut oil, unrefined. Coconut oil can improve your thyroid health, it's good for brain function, and it's also good at regulating insulin, and which I mentioned earlier, insulin is a fat storage hormone, so the better we can regulate insulin, the faster we're going to lose weight. The fourth food I recommend for weight loss are leafy greens. Leafy greens are foods such as kale, spinach, Swiss chard, and many other types of foods and many other types of greens. So leafy greens are full of good nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And the key thing to these minerals is that they really help maintain the health of your cell. And if you have a healthy cell, it's a lot more difficult for your cells to signal fat and store fat. So in the long run, these foods are going to help you lose weight. Okay, my fifth food, it's not really a food, it's something that you actually drink and you add to your foods, but it's apple cider vinegar. What apple cider vinegar does, if you take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and you add it to about 500 milliliters of water, let's say a tall glass of water, what it does is it helps stimulate hydrochloric acid, which is something in your stomach which helps you digest food. So going back to gut digestion, if your digestion is faster, then you're going to lose weight. If your digestion is slow, then food's just going to sit on your stomach and not digest. So apple cider vinegar 15 minutes before a meal can help stimulate the rate and speed of your digestion. My sixth food are organic meats. Now, there are some major differences between organic beef and non-organic beef. So first of all, it's how these meats are reared. It's how the animal's actually reared itself. So what you find with non-organic meats is that the ratios of cows kept together is very high, and because there's so many cows kept together, the cows suffer from a lot of diseases. They're very unhealthy, they get sick, and rather than actually treating the cause, which is to have less cows in this specific space, what they do instead is they just give these cows antibiotics. And if these cows are given antibiotics and are stuffed every single day with antibiotics, and you eat these meats, then guess what? You're going to get antibiotics into your system as well, and you're going to get the side effects of antibiotics, and antibiotics can kill your gut flora. So going back to gut health, which I mentioned in one of my previous videos, eating foods full of antibiotics and foods which are pumped full of hormones, as I say, you're just going to get that into your body and you're going to have the same effects. So you do not want to be eating unhealthy animals. The second reason why I recommend organic beef is because of what they're fed on. So you find that with non-organic meat, they're fed on a higher ratio of wheat compared to organic meat, where they're predominantly grass-fed. Now the problem is that with wheat-fed meat, you're going to find that the ratios between omega-3 and omega-6 are going to be skewed. So you're going to have a higher ratio of omega-6. The problem with this is that omega-6 is inflammatory. It has a inflammatory response in the body, which basically you can kind of think of it as breaking down your cells and making your cells less healthier, compared to omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory. So what you want is your omega-6 to omega-3 to be in a much more closer ratio. The ratio is actually 3:1. However, in the Western diet, we're finding that the ratio between omega-3s and omega-6 at the moment is 20:1. So we're basically in inflammatory mode where we're breaking down our cells. So eating organic meat and having these much more better ratios is going to help your weight loss effort in the long run, because a healthier cell signals fat less and is more likely to help you to lose weight faster. My seventh food is fish. The reason why I recommend fish is because it's very high in omega-3s. So as I mentioned before, your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is very, very important. At the moment in Western diets, as I said before, the ratio is something like 20:1 in favor of omega-6 to omega-3. Now, by upping your fish oils, you're gonna greatly increase the amount of omega-3 that you're getting into your diet, and therefore closing that ratio. And as I mentioned before, it's going to reduce the inflammation in your cell. It's going to make your cell a lot more healthier. I recommend that you eat fish 4 times a week at a minimum. If you're someone that actually hates eating fish, then I recommend that you get a good fish oil. Okay, don't just get a cheap one, because you get what you pay for. If you buy a cheap fish oil, then the oil in the fish could be rancid. The oil in the supplement could be rancid. You're not going to get the benefits which you want. So spend the extra money, get a good quality fish oil. But the best thing you can do is to eat fish itself, and ideally try and catch wild caught fish like salmon or cod. Try not to get the packet fish. My 8th food that I recommend is kefir. Now, kefir is a type of probiotic, and what you have with kefir is you have a kefir grain which is either added to water or milk, and kefir is a live bacteria. And what happens is when you put kefir either in milk or you put it in water, the bacteria in the kefir grain is actually transferred into the milk or into the water. Okay, and the bacteria are good bacteria. So when we was talking about gut health earlier, we're talking about the ratio of good bacteria to bad bacteria. This is going to actually help increase the amount of good bacteria in your gut. So what will happen is that you'll actually get these bacteria into your gut, and they'll actually colonize in your gut, so they'll start to multiply. Now, obviously, if the ratio of bad bacteria is too high and your sugar is too high and your diet is too high in sugar, then it's going to be very difficult for this to take place, because sugar actually feeds bad bacteria. So you want to make sure that in addition to taking this type of probiotic, that you're reducing the amount of sugar that you're taking into your diet, and you're also reducing processed foods, so that you can really allow these good bacteria to flourish. The 9th food I recommend, and again, it's not really a food, it's more of a drink. It's called bone broth. And again, going back to gut health, I've already mentioned that if your gut isn't good, it's going to be very, very difficult to lose weight, because the food's just going to sit on your diet. And if you've been eating processed foods for a long time, you've been eating lots of sugary foods, then your ratio of bacteria, good to bad bacteria, is going to be extremely high, and it's going to be very difficult to digest these foods, and you're going to have problems such as leaky gut syndrome, which I talk about on my other video. Bone broth contains something called collagen. Collagen is great for improving your skin. It improves the health of your hair, your nails, and it also lines your joints. But more importantly, it does have an effect on your gut. So if you're suffering with problems like constipation or diarrhea, having that extra collagen in your gastrointestinal tract kind of helps to tighten everything up and shore up your gut so that it's less resilient and more stronger. So collagen is really good for gut health. 10th and final food that I recommend is a food called sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is another probiotic, and it's going to help you to increase that ratio between good to bad bacteria. And similar to kefir, what will happen is that you'll eat the sauerkraut and these bacteria will get into your gut, and they'll colonize and they'll build, and you'll have a higher ratio of good bacteria to bad bacteria. So just to summarize my top 10 foods in no particular order: sauerkrauts, kefir, bone broth. Make sure you're eating fish at least 4 times a week. If not, get yourself a good fish oil. Eat leafy greens. Eat nuts because they're hard for your body to digest and they increase your metabolic rate. Avocados. Take apple cider vinegar to help increase your hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid. Make sure you're eating organic meats. And last but not least, coconut oils. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found the tips really useful. If you like what you saw in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can get further updates from me on weight loss and exercise tips. Thank you for watching.